Okay, this is part 2, obstacles, feedback, meditation, reflection, and discernment. In part 1, we had a review of the Johari window. The surveys, the evaluations, those are things that you're doing in this class to give you feedback on yourself. Another way would be to interview others. All of those self-assessment quizzes that I'm giving you, those are all ways to get feedback on yourself as well. Reflection and discernment is another way, where you take the time to actually think about what you're doing and try to find the patterns that are there in your life that are just below the surface, that haven't been articulated yet. We'll talk a little bit more about those in just a minute. How can you get feedback from the environment? Well, you can do an environmental analysis where you look at organizational climate, your personal observations, of course, journaling. You can also do surveys, evaluations, interviews in this area. Serving on committees and task forces, looking at results. And I mentioned environmental scanning, environmental analysis. That's part of organizational climate, but it does go beyond organizational climate. But since we're focusing on the personal in this class, let's go to meditation, reflection, and discernment. What is meditation? What is reflection? And what is discernment? Meditation is the process where you engage in thought or in contemplation. The meaning of meditation is to think. Now, meditation has been associated with many of our religious traditions in the world, but that doesn't mean that meditation is a religious experience. It's actually a way to settle down the mental and physical activity that you have and reduce the distractions. It's been used effectively to combat anxiety, to reduce stress, and even for those with chronic pain or physical ailments, helps to reduce that. With meditation, what we want to do is promote relaxation, what we call a restful alertness, and an awareness of self. Meditation can be a precursor to reflection and discernment. Let's talk about reflection. The definition of reflection is thinking about something using a considered or a meditative process. When we reflect, we look at things that are inside ourselves. The reflective process isn't just something that happens, it's something that's conscious, it's something that is purposeful. You set time aside and you follow a particular process. Reflection is thinking, using reasoning, you're examining your own thoughts, your own feelings, and reflection is used as a path to self-knowledge or self-discovery. You create an awareness of yourself. It helps you to sort through priorities, usually done in solitude, in silence, and it is a conscious attempt at just being and not just doing. What does reflection have to do with leadership? Well, the more you know yourself, the better leader you can be. In a couple of my other classes, I offered journaling as an option for a final grade, one of the final grade weights. In journaling, one must meditate, and then one must reflect on what one has written. And then that all feeds into discernment. It says here, discernment is a process by which one comes to good judgment and understanding. What is discernment? The ability to tell the difference, to discern the taste of a fine wine, to discern the priorities in one's life. In this context, we're talking about searching for an answer inside yourself. We're looking for messages that are hidden just below the surface, looking for patterns, looking for relationships, looking for the undercurrents that haven't yet emerged. The art of discernment takes patience and it takes practice. But the best leaders exercise discernment as an avenue for good judgment and being a good leader. Okay, this concludes the lecture, and here's our slide with our references. You'll be coming back to this material on the final exam, so make sure you take some notes.